So we have another question here from Daniel. I was like, where are they? Because I had told them that I was going to answer this question today on the Q&A. So Daniel, thanks for chiming in. Thanks for being here and reminding me by asking the question. So Daniel's asking, can you take advantage of cost segregation depreciation when doing nightly rental arbitration? Got it. All right. So um, the answer is it depends. Get over to Daniel and let's find out what's going on with this whole cost segregation. Daniel, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. How are you, sir?
Dude, I'm well, man. Long time no talk.
Right? Right? Like
Yeah, good to
all we
hear
do
from
is
you
watch
again.
each other's videos and just go, okay, he's still alive. Anyway,
Nice, nice.
so help me understand more of I because you're asking cost segregation very specifically, and I know your real estate experience is vast. So there's a reason you're asking it, and I'm trying to really understand what is the problem that you're trying to actually address.
Yeah, so I was having a conversation with my CPA and my tax professional, and right now I do have a nightly rental property, but I do own it. So I approached it with owning the building,
Okay.
but I was curious because that's what started the conversation with myself and Steve, my tax professional, in terms of what tax benefits does nightly rentals bring that is typically is typically not as extravagant, I guess, so to speak, in the regular real estate investing world. And the question that myself and a good friend of mine that we thought of while we were discussing this and masterminding a little bit was, well, do you still get tax advantages with furnishing? Because when you control a particular unit or a property, um, I'm sure you still expend capital on furnishings and whatnot. So I guess it's not specifically cost segregation, but it's more so referring to the actual tax advantages of controlling that property rather than owning it.
Got it. So, all right. One, we always standard disclosure for everyone else, not you, Daniel, because I know you know, but I'm no one's tax professional. Okay, at any stage of any manner, I'm not even trying to pretend. I don't even play one on TV. However, here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. Um, it depends on how that FF&E is acquired. So understand, so much of the FF&E is it can become a direct write-off. Period. So let's start there. So much of it is that very little of it needs to even be capitalized if necessary. And if some students, depending on where they are and how they start up, if they're trying to preserve capital so that they can expand their footprint, we often recommend that they start by leasing the furniture as opposed to actually owning the furniture. Now, typically, though, the leases that we tell them to get usually have a buyout provision in them so that maybe 18 months later, what they can do is they can buy out the remainder of the lease. And then at that time, now you have this. But as far as cost seg goes, uh, I'm gonna say two things. One, the study would probably cost you more if you, especially if you're not owning the property. The study would probably cost you more than the actual benefit until you get to something like a 20 room, 40, somewhere probably it'd probably take about 20 rooms. If you were doing 20 rooms in one, like 20 rooms in one building at a time, now it's probably worth it to you. But for the most part, between just the depreciation tables, and you get so much, there's so much bonus depreciation table or depreciation still on the table right now for a lot of the equipment that we have to purchase, that it's like that's way better than putting them on their separate schedules, and doing that has been where I've gone. But you bring up the
Mm.
opposite of that point is, and this is why I tell people it's a three-phase system, is because the one downside of this whole thing is it produces a significant amount of free cash flow that you will have a tax problem unless you have a plan, which is why phase three is all about helping individuals to acquire. I say investments because I honestly I'm asset agnostic. I don't really care what they choose to invest in. However, a significant portion of that should be real estate, in my opinion, because of the offsetting benefits that you can now have from, your Section 179 stuff and cost seg, depending on the size of the building or what it is that you're doing, because you need something to offset that capital. Otherwise, you're going to end up, or sorry, offset that cash flow. Otherwise, you're going to end up just paying Uncle Sam, and no one wants to do more than their share. But I get you, and there's not a whole lot available, mostly because it depends on how you got started and what you're doing. And to be quite honest, it is. I think the study would cost you more than the benefit you would actually get.
Wow, cool, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very cash flow heavy business, so completely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean you're ending up. So and that was like one of the things that I realized. Fortunately, because we have the real estate experience and we've had the experience in the past, being able to control our adjusted gross income has been a blessing in order to make sure we can keep more of what it is that we work for. So I hear you 100%, and it's a very valid question. But I think the better way to address it, in my opinion, is to take that down payment that you were going to put in on a property, turn that entire down payment into as many short-term rentals as you possibly can, and then leverage that cash flow to replenish the down payment reserves that you had, and either then do it again or then buy that property, because now you end up in the situation where you have your short-term rentals producing enough cash for you to keep buying properties, and because you're buying properties, you're offsetting the income that you're literally eating and living on at the same time, so you can put yourself in a at least federally in a no taxable situation relatively quickly.
Very nice. Cool, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. Anytime, anytime. I like doing it, and thanks for continuing to produce good content. So the world needs more of it. The world needs
That's
more.
right. That's right.
All right. I'll talk to you
Right
guys
on,
later.
brother.
Bye. If you like information like this, go ahead and hit that like button, because that tells YouTube that more entrepreneurs see us, and definitely hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that the next time we publish more quality content like this, you can be a part. Thanks.